Okay, we've got a play coming for you now, and it's been written by James Quinn, actor, poet, as you know from previous Malcolms, and James is also an excellent writer. He's wrote this play today. You'll recognise James from early doors, as you will the excellent and coach lad, John Henshaw.
Thank you.
It's just part of a great season we've had here at Corsican Malcolm. And if this season's Corsican Malcolm was the World Cup, well, today's event is a group of death. But these lot will know all about football pundits there, because James's play is a great piss take of the football pundits. It's called End of the Day.
Thank you. Welcome back after another afternoon of dramatic Premier League action. We've got the thoughts of Terry to come a little later, but first, Georgina is now with today's winning captain.
Carl, 3 points there, well done. Now, after the setback in the Cup replay in midweek, with all the rumblings from the fans, just how important was it for you to get a win today?
About that much.
Okay, and
Sorry, hang on a minute. Stevie-O!
What?
How important do you think it was for us to get a win today? About that much?
Well, after the cup setback, a lot more than that. About that much.
About that much.
okay. And how much belief does a win like this give you?
3 grand's worth.
And with the confidence you gained from a win like today, just how far do you think this squad of players can really go?
Keswick.
As far as Keswick?
Stevie!
What?
How far do you think this current squad of players can go? Keswick?
Oh, not that far. Lancaster, maybe. Carnforth.
Carnforth.
Carl, thanks for your time. Back to Jim and Terry in the studio.
Thank you, Georgina. Now, plenty more reaction to come. In fact, all the reaction from a very eventful afternoon here in Birmingham. And before the end of the programme, we hope to be able to bring you some breaking news with the transfer deadline just hours away. Along, of course, with the thoughts of Terry. Now, Terry, a lot to talk about this afternoon. Just how much is there to talk about, in your view?
A lot, Jim. I mean, it's a hell of a lot. We've been doing this together now for over 5 years, and I'd say there's as much here as there ever was to talk about.
Is there a danger, Terry, that there's perhaps too much to talk about?
No, I don't think so, Jim. No. I think at the end of the day, if we keep it short, keep the words simple, don't try anything too ambitious, just keep doing what we're good at, I think we can handle it.
Okay, now, a priceless win for Birmingham. Is this the win that their season needed?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they were on fire today, and this win will give them confidence. This will give them the confidence that comes with winning games, because when you win games, that breeds confidence, you know, and you go out and you think, we can win this. But when you're not winning games, well, that sort of gets in the way and makes you lose.
Yeah, and the first goal today was important.
Yes, and it was scored at the right time, too.
So when, in your view, Terry, would be the wrong time to score?
The 32nd minute. I used to hate scoring in the 32nd minute. You know, I mean, there's something creepy about it. Whenever we scored late into the first half, my eyes would go right towards the stadium clock, you know, and there was such a relief if it was like the 28th or the 35th minute.
Terry, fascinating stuff. We've got more of the thoughts of Terry to come a little later, but back to today because Georgina is now with today's losing manager.
Gordon, is there a feeling in your dressing room you were worth a point today?
Without a doubt, we controlled the game first half, but the referees cost us. But but I don't want to talk about the referee.
Do you mean with the penalty?
Without a doubt, I mean, the lads have told me the boys dived. Mario's never touched him, but the referee's bought it. But like I say, I don't want to talk about the referee. That's just getting me into trouble.
Do you think that from where the referee was positioned, it might have looked like there was contact?
Well, then why doesn't he use his linesman? But like I say, I don't want to talk about the referee because there's no point.
Not quite.
I mean, what's the point when he's a motherfucker?
Steady, Gordon. There'll be kids watching this now.
Well, the kids should know that the ref today was a motherfucker.
Back to Jim and Terry in the studio.
And a cocksucker.
Well, clearly Gordon Drake there, very incensed by the referee's decision. But I mean, Terry, surely not the kind of words that we want to see or hear on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, I mean, absolutely, it's just not the right words, are they? You know, I mean, if we can look at those two words again. Well, the first word, I mean, that's not going to apply, is it? I mean, the referee's not going to have done that. And the second word, okay, it's conceivable, but again, you know, not very likely, you know. I have no reason to think he does that.
Yeah. And this whole controversy about the penalty, it's going to ignite yet again the whole question of technology, isn't it?
Well, as you say, yeah, it's tricky, but in situations like today, you can just see technology playing a part, you know, and I can see technology coming more and more into it with all these decisions, just so long as it doesn't get out of hand.
Okay. So when, in your view, Terry, would it get out of hand? I mean, what could technology, say, not replace, in your view?
Players. Yeah, I can't see technology replacing players. I mean, apart from goalkeepers. I could see technology possibly, you know, replacing goalkeepers.
Okay. So instead of goalkeepers, we'd have technology saving the shots, dealing with crosses, and so on.
Yeah, but that's all. Or maybe holding midfield players, you know. I mean, but not strikers, you know. I couldn't see technology latching onto a through ball and striking it in the back of the net, you know, and then wheeling away and celebrating with the crowd, you know. And I can't see many people buying replica shirts with technology on the back.
Terry, thanks for the moment. Now, just a reminder that a little later on, we've got that La Liga action coming up for you. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. El Derby. As they call it over there. Back to today because Georgina is now with today's man of the match.
Gianfranco, you popped up again. 89th minute. This is getting to be a bit of a habit, isn't it?
I think so. But for me, it was not important that I score, but that the team win.
And after all the speculation this week, linking you with a possible move back to Milan, the lure of Champions League football and so on, just how important was it for you to show the fans you're committed to being here?
It was as important as the defeat of fascism in the 1940s.
And what's the mood in the dressing room right now?
Very happy.
And what's your mood?
Oh, it's very happy.
How happy?
I'm like the dog with two dicks.
Careful, Gianfranco. There'll be kids watching this now.
Well, then the children need to know a dog with two dicks is very happy.
Gianfranco, thank you.
Because he can service two bitches at the same time.
Well, clearly, Gianfranco there, elated. But I mean, Terry, surely not the kind of language that we want to see here in the Premier League.
Well, yeah, and also, is it actually a useful analogy? I mean, in practice, would a dog with those two attributes necessarily be happy? You know, I mean, it's got to be weird for the dog, hasn't it? And anatomically speaking, it might not even be possible to carry out what Gianfranco was saying, you know. So, depending on how far apart. the two organs were, you know.
And of course, it begs the question if one of the... I've got to be careful with kids watching, but if one of the, was to reach a fruition, but before the other one...
Yeah, as inevitably it would do.
Then wouldn't that, Terry, in your view, be physically quite a contradictory experience for the dog?
Absolutely, yeah. Because if a dog is anything like a man, then the whole act of climaxing is one of real release. You know. So then if the dog is having to carry on with a separate act, well, you've got to say that this is going to cause a lot of problems, you know. I don't think Gianfranco thought this one through.
But will he stay at Birmingham?
I hope so. He's a great character.
Terry, thanks for the moment. Now, just a reminder that on Tuesday night, we've got the Johnston's Paint Trophy action coming up for you. Gillingham taking on Yeovil. But back to today, because Georgina is now with today's winning manager.
Ray, you said before the game that following the cup defeat in midweek, you were looking for a reaction from your players. Did you get that reaction?
I didn't get that reaction, but I did get a reaction. And to be fair, that was enough to get us the 3 points.
Now, you've had quite a week, Ray. Being dumped out of the cup, speculation about new owners, players being arrested, rumours of a gay relationship somewhere in your back four. Not to mention the team's much talked about problems in wide areas. So just how good was it to pick up those 3 points today?
You know when you really fancy some woman and you finally ask her out and then you proposition her and she says yes and you go back to yours and you do it and it's really good and you do it more than once and she seems in total ecstasy and you're as certain as you can be that she's not faking it and you do it again in the morning and she doesn't seem in any hurry to leave, so you go off to Summerfield, a Spa, a Londis, and you buy, juices and nice breads and the papers, and then she ends up spending the whole day, and then you go out again in the evening and she stays over again, and you arrange to see each other a couple of days later, and you can just tell that she's really into you, and the whole thing seems like it's got a future. That's how good it was.
Okay, and Ray...
And then on about the third date. When she goes on top for the first time and you experience that surrender.
Okay, there will be youngsters watching this now, Ray.
Well, the youngsters should be taught as early as possible that a sense of surrender is a pivotal part of true sexual fulfillment.
This isn't really appropriate.
The beauty of a naked woman riding you like a horse.
Well, clearly Ray McMahon there, very happy and relieved, you'd have to say. But again, Terry, I mean, are those the kind of images that we want to be putting in people's minds after the final whistle of a Premier League game?
Well, you'd have to question it, wouldn't you, Jim? I mean, as a Premier League manager, you don't want to be presenting your players with an image of surrender.
You want to be on top.
You want to be getting stuck in there, not lying back waiting for your opponent to show you an opening. That's not the Premiership I played in.
Yeah, Terry, fascinating stuff as always. Now we had there Georgina there alluding to the team's problems in wide areas, and we talked before the game about those problems, and they haven't gone away, have they?
Absolutely, Jim. As you say, they've not gone away. Despite the win, it was all very narrow and congested. And for me, that's got to be a concern.
Yeah. And if a manager finds he's got problems in wide areas, what can he do?
Well, the first thing he's got to do is admit it. I'm Ray McMahon, and I've got problems in wide areas. And to be fair to Ray, he would be the first one to admit he's got problems in wide areas.
Okay, what then?
Well, once you've admitted it, the next thing is to get help. And there's lots of places you can do that. You can visit problemsinwideareas.com. It's a fantastic website with links to lots of groups, some of whom have had similar experiences. I mean, groups like Luton, Southend and Port Vale, you know. And there's also a 24-hour helpline where you can talk to trained personnel, some who themselves are recovering from problems in wide areas.
Sorry, Terry, we're going to have to pause you there, but fascinating stuff. Now, just a reminder that tomorrow night we've got the Conference North action coming your way. A double header. Stalybridge Celtic versus Vauxhall Motors, plus hang on to your hats because it's Hyde United versus Droylston. To Derby. As they call it up there. But back to today, because Georgina is now with Birmingham striker Wayne Osman. I'm sorry, we seem to have misunderstood. Georgina is with Birmingham striker Wayne Osman, but they're now an item. Georgina, are you still down there? In a manner of speaking.
Steady, Jim. There'll still be kids watching now. No, but seriously, Jim, I am now able to confirm that I am indeed with Wayne Osman.
Yeah, and Georgina, all sorts of speculation about this possible deal. I mean, just talk us through the roller coaster of emotions that you must have been through over the past couple of days.
Absolutely, Jim. Well, obviously Wayne has been linked with all sorts of other names. People knew he was unsettled where he was with the girl from Hollyoaks. Then there was, of course, all the talk midweek about a possible link between Wayne and Simone from the X Factor. One paper even suggesting a deal had been done. But then I got the call from my agent on Thursday saying a deal with Wayne was on the table, and obviously it's always flattering to be linked with a name like Wayne Osman. And now personal terms have been agreed, and I'm absolutely thrilled.
And Georgie, what is it that attracts you to Wayne Osman?
I just feel, Jim, that Wayne is someone who matches my ambition. I've really enjoyed my time with Dave, the lighting guy here on the show. He's always been great to me. But I have to think about what's best for Georgina Murray now, and I'm really looking forward to the new challenge.
Georgina, thank you very much. Good luck with all of that.
Thanks, Jim.
Final thoughts from you, Terry. What is it that you think attracts Wayne to our lovely Georgina?
He wants a trophy. He's had them in the past and he wants them again. You see, at the end of the day, it's the hunger for more and more trophies that keeps a player like Wayne at it.
Terry, thank you very much for your company this afternoon.
Thanks, Jim, thanks.
And thank you for your company. On an afternoon when Birmingham are on their way home with a win, Georgina's on her way home with Wayne. And at the end of the day, it's 11:59 p.m. Good night.